Good morning. How are you? I think my hair needs a little doing. Fix it just a little bit. Here we are. Body clutter. Get your book out. We're going to have a pop quiz. Does that make you start to shudder just a little bit? Oh, I need coffee. How about you? Good morning. I got my bird cup today. Nothing says I love you like coffee from a bird cup. Anyway, so we're looking at body clutter. And boy, do I have some stuff to tell you. Let's get some people in here. The main thing we have to learn is don't assume you know how many carbs are in something. Don't do that. So yesterday I told you I wanted to go eat Mexican. That I had figured out what I was going to eat. Excuse me. It's a dish that has this sauce on it. It's usually put over rice, but I asked them not to put it on rice. And it's got shrimp and chicken, mushrooms, and broccoli. And I asked them to add a little bit more broccoli in it. And that came out in the same size plate it always has. It was a nice presentation. I got a picture of it. It didn't taste sweet. It didn't have anything. And I ordered a little bowl of guacamole dip. Well, what do you eat guacamole dip with? You have to eat it with a chip. Well, I decided to get my trusty little smartphone out and do a search on how many carbs were in chips. Well, each chip is 1.9 carbs. 1.9 carbs. Got that? 1.9 carbs. Now, that's a lot. Half a piece of my favorite chocolate is 2 carbs. It's a lot of chocolate in it. That's just a lot of carbs for one chip. So I decided, here's what I did. I got unsweet tea with some extra lemon on it. You know, I can't talk without moving my hands. And I spread my napkin out right in front of me because I hadn't got my dinner yet. And then I took my straw wrapper and I tore it into 6 pieces and set it beside, kind of like I do with my drinking the water in the bathroom. So I'd take one little piece of the straw wrapper and set it over to the side. And then I'd get me one chip and I'd put the chip down on the napkin. Now I'm trying to take my time here. Because if you slow down your eating process, you don't scarf up so much stuff. So I pushed my finger down into the center of the chip and it broke in half. And then I took each half and I broke it into 3 pieces. So my chip ended up being 6 chips. So I had 6 mini chips for that 1.9 carbs. And I ate 5 of them. So it was right at 10 carbs for 5 chips. And I ate my guacamole instead of the salsa, because tomatoes have a lot of carbs. And then I went to look at the carb count in guacamole salad, and it was pretty much through the roof. So next time I'll just order an avocado, because just a plain avocado has 12 carbs. I don't think it has much fiber, but it has 12 carbs. So I came home and I found my little carb counting book, because the Google search I did said the guacamole salad had 120 grams of carbs, which that just is like throw the baby out with the bathwater. I might as well have some tortillas now. But I didn't do that. I ate my meal. I enjoyed not having the rice there, because the rice sucked up all the wonderful sauce. It's a spicy sauce, sort of a cream-based sauce. And then I was satiated. It was good. It was all good. So I had my meal. I figured there's a lot of meat in this dish, and it's not super rich, but it just was what I wanted. And it was wonderful. Just wonderful. But looking this up was much better. And this morning I don't feel as bad as I did about looking at, it's a gram counter for carbs. Now, pull one up on your computer or your phone and just kind of graze through and look at the carb count on things. My goal is to stay less than 30 grams of carbs per meal. And I'm only having one meal a day. So that's 30 grams of carbs all day long. No matter how you eat them, calories count. Well, I don't count calories at all. I don't count calories at all because if your body does not put insulin out to fight the sugar, it's much different. I know my body. Learning my body is what has helped me so much. So there's apps on your phone to look at carb counts on things, and I'm trying to stay below 30 grams. Plain and simple. And it's working. I actually weighed this morning, and I was quite pleased with what's going on. I've got to get rid of notifications on my phone because it's driving me nuts. Anyway, so the next chapter in our book, let's see what it is. Who can tell me what the next chapter is? Let me find it. It's chapter 3. The hidden and not so hidden realities of body clutter. Well, what is this about? Oh, fat clothes and skinny clothes. Well, this blouse I have on, I haven't worn in a year and a half. And it fit today. I didn't think it would. Last time I tried to put it on, I got a little claustrophobic and almost ripped it off of me because I can't stand anything being too tight. Those skinny clothes that are in your closet, they are saying ugly things to you. They're telling you, you've gained too much weight. You can't fit me anymore. Your fat clothes are saying, come on back, baby. I'm waiting here for you. Come on back. We don't have to do this to ourselves. Let's get those clothes out of our closet. And if you're scared to let go of them, let go of some of them. More fruits and veggies go along with low salt. Well, let me tell you about low salt. If you're doing a low carb diet, You don't really have to cut back on your salt, because what happens with a low carb diet is that your body, when you go into ketosis, your body flushes potassium. Well, with salt, you hold on to potassium. Read the last few chapters in the Why We Get Fat book. It tells you why you need to hold on to salt. Now, I have cut out a lot of salt, but guacamole with no salt is nothing. I can't eat it. Good job, Julie. Let's get those clothes out of our closet so we don't feel bad. And this goes for shoes too. If you have shoes that are too tight, you need to get them out of your closet, because they're taking up valuable real estate. Because you do not need to wear a pair of shoes that hurt your feet. Do you hear me? Let's get rid of them. So I want you to feel beautiful in everything you put on. Putting this on today made me feel pretty. It's about the same color of the shirt I wore yesterday, but this one's got a lot of eyelet and stuff on it, and it's kind of it's got little flappy wings. Oh God, it's those chips from last night. Anyway, so get out your body clutter. People are talking too much today. I got all these notifications popping up. So I want you to feel pretty in everything you wear. And, get up in the morning. Get up in the morning and get dressed to lace up shoes. Now, my hair probably needed washed this morning, but I overslept. Not really, because the dogs were up all night and they had a raccoon cornered at the end of the deck. And I was trying to help rescue the raccoon, trying to drag the dogs in the house at 3 a.m. And one of them, get this, one of the dogs, and I think it's the little one, has learned to open the back door. What am I going to do now? I'm going to have to baby-proof the back door. Now, so I was up half the night, and I have on earplugs, and I could still hear them. But this poor little raccoon, it was a baby. So let's talk about some other issues with our body clutter. Other issues with our body clutter. You can't bend down and put your shoes on. That's tough. And if you try to drag your leg up with the leg of your pants, you're liable to twist your knee. So you're going to have to practice stretching to get your shoes on. And I bought my mother-in-law, when she had hip replacement surgery, I bought her a long-handled shoehorn. And she loved that thing because she could not bend the way she used to bend. She couldn't bend, and it really bothered her. She was a little tiny lady. And so I have that shoehorn, and I can get my shoes on without twisting my leg now. And do some stretches. This is one of the most important things for us, is to stretch and hold. And it's not yoga. It's just making sure our tendons and our ligaments are limber. Now, in the morning, I like to bend down and just hold it there, touching my toes while I'm getting dressed in the bathroom. It's one more thing that I do in the bathroom. And I have been known to do some push-ups on the side of the tub. Tub's not going anywhere. Piece of furniture might move with me, but the tub is not going to move with me. So I can do some simple little push-ups, girl push-ups, at the tub. You can stretch. You can stretch when you're putting dishes in the cabinet, and just hold the pose. Let's get limbered up this summer. Let's really get limbered up. I saw a video the other day of a little tiny 100-year-old lady who had a curvature in her spine, that was really pronounced. And she started doing yoga and stretches and stuff, and in about 6 weeks she had cured that. Now we just have to stretch our muscles and take every inch at the top of every hour. If you're using your hands a lot, do some stretches with your hands. I do stretches with, I used to have plantar fasciitis on my foot, and I learned this stretch. At night before I go to bed, say this is my foot, I take my toes and push them back like this and hold it for a count of 10. And what that does, it stretches this muscle on that, the tendon on the bottom of your foot. And it's just a simple little hold and stretch. Both feet. Takes 20 seconds. But guess what? It works. It really works to keep my feet from having plantar fasciitis. If you've ever had it, it is debilitating. I mean, debilitating to the point you can't have fun. And all we want to do is have fun. What else can we talk about today? Anybody got any questions? Last month we practiced our walking. Right now, my yard needs weeding. Pretty rough. It's pretty rough. With all this rain we've had, it's gone nuts. So I had Robert sharpen my hoe. And twice a day, I'm taking my hoe and making a loop around my yard. It's not much of a walk, but guess what? I'm hoeing some things down. As I go through the yard, I'm listening to a book. And it's really making my yard look better. Look a whole lot better. So, if you need to weed, put an audio book on your phone and head outside, and with your clippers or whatever. I've got clippers by my front door. I've got my hoe by the front door, and just go out there and start doing it. Set your timer. Do 15 minutes worth. Come back in and do something else. You can do this. An audio book is amazing. I've been listening to the Healing Book by Dr. Jonas, and that book is phenomenal. Just learning about positivity. So last night before I went to bed, I got a Facebook Messenger post from a lady. I'm not really friends with her, but she had told me she had fallen when she was out in her yard. And her name's Joanna, so say a prayer for her. And I did, and she had broken a rib. Now, she said she was going to back off of doing Fly Lady. Well, I said, well, you can't right now. You can slow down a little, but if you can get out of bed in the morning, you need to get yourself dressed. You need to get yourself dressed. And especially if you have a broken rib, you need to get your shoes on. She might not be able to put lace-up shoes on because she might not be able to bend down, but she could get somebody to help her. And keep those shoes on all day. And you need shoes that are secure on your feet, that lace up or Velcro down or whatever on your feet, so that you have a firm foot base to balance on. Balance is a big deal when you get older. And one of the things I try to do is balance on one leg while I'm putting my jeans on, which is harder than it sounds. But I can do pretty good with one leg, but if I start with that leg, and if I start with the other leg, I do pretty good. It's the second leg that's a little difficult, but I'm getting better at it. And when I brush my teeth, I try to balance on one foot. So see how you piggyback little things like that? it's all about balance and practice. You got to practice balancing. So bend and stretch and balance and do these little things. It's going to make your life easier. And get out in the yard in a sunbeam. Vitamin D is essential to getting your health and keeping your health. So it's easier to keep your health than it is to get well. Did you know that? So with Fly Lady, we do things every day that bless you, that bless your body, that bless your home. But it's mainly about blessing you, because love your body, love yourself. And love is an action word. Remember this. Love is an action word. Because love without action is just, you can say you love somebody all the time, but if you never do anything to show them you love them, what kind of love is that? So you can say you love yourself, but if you don't drink enough water and you don't eat the right foods and you don't plan your meals and you don't take care of yourself, then that's not really love. That's really punishment. Loving yourself, because when you love yourself, finally loving yourself changes everything, because you won't put up with inaction. Sandals that can't be quickly kicked off are good. I have some, my feet haven't gotten so hot this summer because I've already turned on my air conditioner. We usually don't turn our air conditioner on until July. But I was getting all the moisture last week when we had all that rain, 10 inches of rain. I was just dying. So I told Robert we had to turn the air conditioner on, and he was fine with it. It doesn't run much, but when it does, yesterday I was sitting out, locked myself out of the house, which I really didn't, but I was out hoeing, and I sat down on my rocking chair in the front porch, and I was talking to my sister on the phone, and it was 80 degrees. It was a pleasant 80 degrees in the shade. So I'm happy I live in the mountains of North Carolina. Finishing up the edits on our new book, and the editor that's working on the book with me, she said to me, and this made me feel really good because y'all are going to love this. She said, "This book is the most inspiring book I've ever had to edit." And I was just, this is what she does for a living. She says, "I'm already cleaning out my closets." And I thought, wow, I wasn't expecting that. How far am I from Chimney Rock? I'm about an hour from Chimney Rock. The road has, they've had some mudslides and stuff down there. I'm excited for the new book. It'll be out in probably November, so it's going to be fun. Never worked with an editor before, so this is kind of interesting, working with an actual editor that helped me through this. We played wonderful games to get this book made, and I can't wait to share it with you. In fact, we were already sold it to Russia yesterday, so Fly Lady's going to be in Russia. I'm excited. I wonder how, some of my Southern vernacular translates into Russian. That's going to be cute. I tried to be good with it, though. Everybody, have a good day. And I told you I was going to give you a pop quiz. I want somebody to tell me how many carbs are in an apple. One apple. See, we think we're doing really well if we eat an apple. But if you're trying to cut back on your sugar intake, how many carbs are in an apple? Good, Sue. We got a winner. Now, when you were pregnant, if you had any gestational diabetes, you were told to eat meat. Just eat meat and leafy green vegetables, no root vegetables. So, yeah, there's 26, 27 carbs in one apple. That's my limit for the whole day. Well, most of them are over 20 grams of carbs. Now, you can subtract out the fiber and get 3 or 4 grams of fiber. That's how it works. Fiber slows down the absorption of the carbs, which cuts back on how fast the insulin infusion into your system. My husband swears by an apple a day. He really does. He says it gets some good stuff into your gut. And that's good if you're at the weight you want to be. But if you're not, you need to limit your intake. And dried fruits and vegetables have lots of carbs in them too. Yeah, guacamole fiber, but it's better to eat a guacamole than it is to eat guacamole salad. I learned that last night the hard way. Yes, it does, but you can add some nuts to your diet. If you need fiber, add some nuts to your diet. Yeah, plain black coffee is what I drink. It took me a while to get used to it. I don't use any honey. I'm allergic to honey. So I tried using honey one time and I stayed sick all the time. And it was because I was allergic to honey. So I drink black coffee. Now, here's how I learned how to drink black coffee. I used to have cream and sugar, 2 teaspoons of sugar. How many carbs in a teaspoon of sugar? Somebody tell me. How many carbs in a teaspoon? 1 teaspoon of sugar. Somebody tell me how many carbs in a teaspoon of sugar. Don't assume that you know. And see, stevia and other fake sweeteners that's good, Christine, mess with your insulin because it fools your body into thinking you have sugar. So your insulin's going to come out to fight the sugar. This is what happens when you drink a diet drink. You think you're getting sugar, the insulin comes out to fight the sugar, and the sugar's not there, so it drops your blood sugar down into your shoes. So it's better to get weaned off the sugar. Read another book. This is a great book I read last fall. The Case Against Sugar. Yeah, 4 grams of sugar in 4 grams of carbs in a teaspoon of sugar. Got that? 4 grams of carbs in a teaspoon of sugar. Now, I drank 2 teaspoons in my coffee. And I've done that my whole life. So you're starting out your morning with 8 grams of carbs in your body. You've got to fight that sugar. And so your insulin starts pumping from the beginning. Now, the way I cut, and I don't have it here to show you, the way I cut my sugar down is I started using different sized spoons. So I started with like a little tiny, a smaller sugar spoon. And if you've got measuring spoons, you can do it with this too. You can use your measuring spoons, but I used a smaller spoon, and then I used a mustard spoon, and then I used a salt spoon. But you can use your measuring spoons to do this. Use 1 teaspoon and measure it. And if you use 2 teaspoons, it's the act of dumping 2 in there. That's what you're used to. So get a smaller spoon and maybe go to a 1/2 teaspoon and go, and then go to a 1/4 teaspoon. And then you've tricked your taste buds into thinking you got sugar. And you eventually just let it go. Let's see. Well, I still think it plays havoc with the stevia plays havoc with your insulin. The insulin that's being pumped out. And I love lemon juice. I showed you that little packets of lemon. I wouldn't do anything diet. I mean, that's putting fake stuff in your body. And you need to put good stuff. I don't use creamer. It's fake stuff. Look at the carb count on creamer. It's mainly, if you're going to put cream in your coffee, which is fine, use whole whipping cream. Even half and half has carbs in it, but real whipping cream doesn't. Yes, thanks for reminding me. True Lemon is those little packets of flavor. And I put True Lemon in my eggs. It makes it taste like a hollandaise sauce. I don't even have to use salt on my eggs. My son loves butter in his coffee, but I'm cutting out dairy, and I've done that too. And it really helped. But getting rid of the carbs, reducing the carbs and reducing the gluten and the dairy for me has got rid of my acid reflux. I have not had a Tums or an Alka-Seltzer chew in 5 days. 5 days. And I'm not having any problem whatsoever. None. But meat and 2 vegetables, you just don't have to eat potatoes. You can eat squash. You can eat broccoli. It's not a bad habit to have. You can add a salad to your meal and get rid of one of the veggies. It's really a great way to feed yourself. Well, not all Chinese has MSG because I can't do MSG. My sister and I, we get really sick on MSG. It is the worst sick you've ever seen. And it's a massive allergic reaction. And so we have to be careful. We have to be really careful with MSG. So I'm allergic to honey and MSG, and that's probably it. But that's big. And my body really doesn't like dairy, but I do. So I have to limit that. I've tried that diet too. It's weird. So folks, watch what you're eating, and let's not assume we know what the carb count is and stuff. You got your phone with you, check it. And know before you eat it, and have a plan. Yes, that video is really good. I've read the book too, Forks Over Knives. But I'm not going vegetarian. It's just not going to happen for me. I'm a vegetarian, but I can't go all veggie. Just can't do it. It's hard. Last summer was my summer without ice cream. And that was my first summer in forever that I didn't have any ice cream. And I survived it. I survived it. And you really can if you want to. So, folks, here's to more low carbing it today. And y'all say a prayer for all the talks politically that are happening, because we need peace. I want people just say a prayer for the things that are going to be happening in Singapore over the next few days, and let's get peace on earth. You know, my favorite song is "Let There Be Peace on Earth, and Let It Begin with Me." And we have to start at home. We have to start at home, and we need peace in ourselves. And that peace translates to the rest of the world. So let's say a prayer. Let's love ourselves so that we can love our neighbors. And let's be kind to everyone. We have to be kind. You know, when you have a bad thought about somebody, say a prayer for them. Say a prayer for them. Let's get that hatefulness out of ourselves. Let's get rid of it. It's one of those body clutter things we got to get rid of. Because when we're short and snippy with people, that's just awful. It's just awful. And it hurts us more than it hurts them. So, oh, wow. Let there be peace on earth. Now, we have a 20% coupon code right now, and I'm not real fond of it, but I'm not gonna tell it on the video. I will post it in just a few minutes. I'm trying to think what it is. Chores. I hate the word chores, but Michael came up with all these random words and it just picks it. It's chores 310. I believe that's it. So I'm trying to practice remembering things. That's something else we got to practice doing, is remembering. I'm 62 years old and I don't want to not remember stuff. So I have little triggers. I have little games that I play with myself. Well, y'all have a great day, and I'll probably be back on here in a couple of hours at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and no telling what we're going to talk about. It'll be fun. I will see you later. This one went long. I'm sorry. Don't let carbs fool you. You can win over these carbs. From Russell, Kentucky. Bye, everybody.